Okay, I believe we're back. I don't know what happened there, but consider this part two. Alright, so I guess, Danny, if you want to just like restart your little tangent about Tales of Vesperia.
Yeah, so basically what I was originally saying was I had heard so many good things about Tales of Vesperia. Like, I've only played, like, a couple of the games in the Tales series, but I heard a lot of really good things about Vesperia. Like, people say it's one of the best ones. And I've been wanting to play it, but for the longest time, you really could only play it on the Xbox. Like, there was a PlayStation 3 version, but only in Japan. For whatever reason, it never came over here. So it's like, great, a fucking Tales game I want to play, and I can't fucking play it. So now that it's like, okay, now we have the definitive edition coming out, and not only is it going to be available on Xbox, it's also going to be available on PlayStation 4 and the Switch. So it's like, about fucking time I'll have the opportunity to actually try this game, because I've been wanting to play it for years.
Yeah. Alrighty then. Alright, so let's try to get this moving on, because I completely forgot that Xbox did 50 games. Okay, let's see. Sea of Thieves.
Oh, okay. yeah, it's like, all I know, it's like, it's a multiplayer pirates game, and I have seen it in action from the guys over at Achievement Hunter. I mean, don't get me wrong, the game looks fun, like, in general, but it's like, kind of like how it is with Anthem, the experience is a whole lot better if you're playing it with friends.
Okay.
And if you have friends who are interested in that sort of thing. So I mean, it's like, while unfortunately it doesn't really tickle my fancy like all that much. I mean, I'm great to see that Sea of Thieves is doing well and is getting more like DLC like coming out soon.
All right. Okay then. Let's see. Black Desert. I don't remember what that is. Oh well. I think that's actually it. That's it. We're done with Xbox. Good.
That's all right.
All right. So then, moving right along, after Xbox was Bethesda. I can never say that name properly without tripping over my own tongue.
Nah, it's all right.
All right. So Bethesda.
Oh boy, Bethesda.
So let's start off with Rage 2 by
you better get ready to die.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. So I don't know about you guys, but pretty much for like a week, like before E3 came around, I've been seeing like, like I go to watch a YouTube video and you know how like 9 times out of 10 there's always a fucking ad in the beginning of these videos and shit. And so it's like I have been seeing trailers for Rage 2. And it's like, okay, like it's like, okay, so I know it's a shooting game, but they kept showing off like, these like punk guys with like colorful mohawks, bright pink, bright yellow, and that Get Ready to Die song. So it's like, oh, okay, it's gonna be like, bright, colorful, fun, kooky shooter. Think like alongside, kind of think maybe like Borderlands, like that type of direction. So the Bethesda conference opens with the band coming out singing "Better Get Ready to Die." So it's like, okay, so now Rage 2, and it's like, what kills me though is that they said, we couldn't find a better song to really like capture this game and everything. So I'm thinking back to these trailers that I've been watching on YouTube, before E3 came along. That is not what they fucking showed in the Bethesda conference. I can tell you that. Because Rage 2 looks like the most generic fucking post-apocalyptic shooter. It's like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah. I mean, it's like, a song like Get Ready to Die could be used a whole lot better in many better things than a generic first-person shooter apocalyptic game like Rage 2. I mean, it's like, okay, screw the game, but regardless of such, I love that song, like, regardless. The song was great. The game, not so much. It's like, in this case, Bethesda, like, only used that as, like, the theme for the game. I think they just used that to be ironic about it, to be honest.
I don't think that was the intention.
Yeah, because I mean, it's like, and I even like made like the comment watching, because this was actually like, I think like this was the first conference that the three of us were able to watch together. We just couldn't get like recordings right or everything, so we couldn't actually record.
Well, no, I didn't want to bother recording this one. That was it.
Oh, okay. But I was like, I know this was like probably like the one conference that the three of us were able to watch together. So that's where it's like, I remember like we're watching this and, it's like, okay, it's a generic post-apocalyptic wasteland and everything, and it's a generic shooter, and it's like, oh, you get the power-ups and everything. It's like, okay, so now you're trying to bring in the plasmids from BioShock, and then you have them shoot down the Mohawk guys, which I guess are the enemy. So it's like, so we're trying to be like Borderlands, where, you got like the crazy colorful. It's like, okay, so those are the guys that we're shooting. So we're trying to be like Borderlands, except we're trying to take it seriously? Because the whole charm behind Borderlands is that they did not take their craziness seriously. They knew how to have fun with it. I mean, for fuck's sake, Borderlands had Butt Stallion. How do you take Butt Stallion seriously?
Trick question, you couldn't.
Exactly. So that's where I'm just like, it's like, I don't know. It was like, what they were showing of Rage 2 prior to E3 looked far more interesting than what they were showing at the Bethesda conference. So it's like, well, thanks Bethesda. Somehow you managed to just completely, cause me to lose interest in this game.
And what's sad too is that there were parts of that trailer where they tried to be funny or jokey, to not take itself seriously, like with that random ad about the monster's head on like the plaque or some bullshit like that.
Yeah,
and that still fell flat. Like, okay.
Yeah, like a big mouth and everything, and I'm just like, no, guys, just no.
All right.
Just quit while you're ahead.
That's not even worth like all the money to spend, to get that talking head in the collector's edition. That also, there's a collector's edition for that game. I'm sorry.
Anyway, let's just move along. Let's see. Elder Scrolls Legends coming to console.
Yeah, so they announced a bunch of the Elder Scrolls stuff, which makes sense because it's fucking Bethesda. So it's like, yeah, there was Legend. I'm trying to remember which one that was.
That was a mobile phone game, right? No.
No.
That was the card game. That was the card game, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll stick with Duel Links, thank you.
Yeah, that's what it's like. I know. It's like they've got like 3 Elder Scroll things going on. So that's where I'm like, okay, which one was which again? So Legends was the card game. So because there's Elder Scrolls Online. And then there's like and then there's like a mobile app or something that they just announced.
Yeah,
Elder Scrolls Blades, right?
Yeah, Blades.
Blades, that's it. Yeah, Blades is the mobile app.
Yeah. Yeah. The mobile app looks like a fun, looks like a cool time killer if you're interested. I'm gonna pass up on it though.
You're right.
Anyway, Wolf Hunter. Yeah, more Elder Scrolls stuff. The Wolf Hunter and Murkmire DLC.
Oh yeah, it's like I remember like when Wolfenstein 2 was first launched, like shortly after, there was like a lot of good things about Wolfenstein.
No.
We're
not Wolfenstein.
Yeah,
we're
you're
not
jumping ahead.
Whoops, I'm sorry.
I said Wolf Hunter and Murkmire.
I'm sorry. I heard Wolf. I'm like, Wolfenstein? What?
Yeah, we're not at Wolf. We're not at Wolfenstein yet.
Yeah,
well, I get that now. I'm sorry.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it. Anyway, let's just move to Doom Eternal. So
yeah, Doom,
another fun game.
Another Doom game. Yeah, the thing that again, this is like one of the things where it's like, okay, so they said, all right, we have another Doom game, and like all they did was they just threw a cinematic trailer out saying that, okay, it's the new Doom game, and then they just said, it's going to be bigger, it's going to be more badass and everything, and it's just they didn't have a lot to say. All they just had to say is, okay, yeah, they're just coming out saying, all right, we're making a new one, so we'll probably end up seeing more details about that next year or something.
Yeah. It's like they did say they were gonna. I guess they're gonna add like more creatures, like in hell. So I'm just like, okay, that's another step up. And now it's like, yeah, it's only a matter of time before they go into detail about the possibility of like what new stuff they're gonna add in with like multiplayer, or it's like, okay, are they gonna use the exact same amount of weapons and iconic weapons that you expect to see from not just the last new Doom game, but previous Doom games as well, or are they gonna add new weapons to it and all of that stuff? Yeah, unfortunately, it's gonna be one of those things where only time will tell. But the fact that they're still making a Doom 2, it's like, all right, I've been meaning to play the first Doom because I've seen the first Doom game in action and I've had it on hand for a while.
Well, a lot of people were saying that the Doom reboot was like.
Yeah, I like Dark Meta Knight's comment. Dark Soul is a game about you being stuck in a room with demons. Doom is demons being stuck in a room with you. That's pretty true. All right. Anyway.
Irony, I don't know.
Anyway, Quake Champions. What was Quake again?
Quake.
Oh, yeah.
Quake is an old Bethesda, but it's like that's like one of their classic ones. Like, I'm honestly kind of surprised that they're still doing Quake stuff, to be honest. But yeah, I think it's a new Quake game. It's another one of those things where it was another. Okay, we have a Quake game coming out, but no other information, so that's it. That's all we got out of it.
All right. Anyway, then, Prey is getting a ton of new modes. Prey, that was the game.
That's the horror. That's like the horror game that's out. That I was hearing good things about it and everything, and then it's like, it was funny because. I swear, like the next day after we watched that conference, and I was thinking about, what what had come out and everything, and I was thinking back to Prey. And the funny thing was, like, a lot of the modes in the DLC and stuff that they were saying that they're doing in it, at some point in time, whether it's through playing a horror game or watching a Let's Play of, like, an indie horror game, I always thought, like, oh, that would be so cool if somebody, like, built off of that. And it's like, oh, Prey seems to be doing just that. Like, one of the modes that they're doing is, I think it's called, like, Moon Crash or something. And the whole gimmick behind that is it's, like, it's a horror game where it's, like, every time you boot up Moon Crash, it changes. Like, the enemies you face, the hazards you go up against, they're not the same every time. It changes every time. That actually reminded me of a game called Monstrum that I remembered seeing Markiplier doing a Let's Play on it. I always thought that was so cool because, like, the whole point of Monstrum is you're on, like, an abandoned barge ship and you're trying to get off. There's 3 different ways that you can get off of the ship, and there's different monsters that try to get you. But every time you boot up the game Monstrum, the monsters can change. So it's like you could be going up against like a really easy monster during one playthrough, but then the next time you play, you end something harder. Or the items that you need to get, they'll be in different places. And I was like, that's actually a really good idea for a horror game. I'd like to see someone try and do that, like, but on like the AAA field. Looks like Prey is doing that. There's a mode that they're doing where it's like, I think they said it's like a survival thing or something where you can have like one person is the good guy, and then the other people that are playing, they're the monsters, and it's the monsters trying to get to you. That reminds me of the Five Nights at Freddy's mod that came out when Five Nights at Freddy's 1 came out. That again, I thought that was such a cool idea where you have one person playing the security guard, and you can have like 4 other people with this mod playing as the animatronics. So now it's like, okay, can these 4 people get to the security guard? And I just thought, God damn it, someone really needs to play with this freaking idea. And it's like, Prey is doing that. So it's like, God damn it, I think I need to get Prey now.
All right, then. All right, so then after Prey... Okay, here we go. Now we're at Wolfenstein, Ryan.
Oh, okay, now we're at Wolfenstein.
Yeah, Wolfenstein 2 Youngblood.
Yes, yeah. It's like I was saying earlier before I accidentally jumped the gun again. I'm so sorry about that. It was like, yeah, I know. Well, I mean, it's like, unfortunately, I never got into Wolfenstein. I mean, it's like, granted, I heard like really, really good stuff about Wolfenstein 2 and how it was handled. So it was like, seeing as how they're making DLC for it is like much like Sea of Thieves. Like, okay, I'm grateful that a really great game like Wolfenstein 2 did so well that it's getting its own DLC for it. Also, memory serves is like they also emphasize that Wolfenstein 2 is coming to the Switch, so you can kill off Nazis on the go if you wanted to. So I was like, okay, that's an added bonus.
Yeah, and they all and like if I recall correctly, this is going to be a co-op game because it's like the whole point is the game revolves around these two girls, like these two sisters. So it's like okay,
that's right, they're my daughters.
Yeah,
yes.
So it looks like it's a co-op game.
Yeah, I do believe you're right. Yes.
So I was like, so it's like, all right, that should be interesting.
Okay. All right, then. So then, new Wolfenstein and Prey VR. Okay, so Wolfenstein and Prey will be on VR, but none of us have VR, so sucks. All right, now, okay, here we go. Fallout 76. This was the big one.
This was the big one. Yeah, it's like a huge chunk of these titles that Bethesda showed off. It's like they were a hit or a miss and all that jazz. But Fallout 76. This is the big one. This is probably the best thing to come out of the Bethesda this year.
Well,
and that was how they got into so much detail about Fallout 76.
Well, really, like half of the Bethesda conference was about Fallout 76. I was like, as soon as they got to talking about this game, it was like, this took up the rest of the conference.
Yeah.
But it was
which pretty much proves my point that, Fallout 76 was like the biggest thing to come out of Bethesda this year.
Yeah. So, and it's like, and I know when we were watching this, I have never played any of the Fallout games. I mean, I know what they are. I've just never got around to playing any of them. But from what they've shown, Fallout 76 honestly looks like it's a lot of fun to play.
It really is, to be honest.
Like, from what I've gathered, just by the title, prequel. Like, it's a prequel to all of them. Like, it's all about, I guess, like, after nuclear bombs have gone off and everything, it's like, okay, this is about the first people that are coming out of the vaults or something. And it's like, okay. And this is like this is a multiplayer game. So one of the things they said is like, you could choose to, go out and, venture out on your own, but it's highly encouraged that when you go out on the maps and everything, you'll come across other people online that are playing, and you're encouraged to team up. So I was like, okay. And then they said, like, you gather your people, and then you can build your bases. But the bases can be attacked, so you gotta, defend the bases and everything.
You can grief each other if you want to.
Yeah, and it's like, it's not, it's like, you're not just fighting, like, whatever the monsters or whatever it is that you fight in the Fallout series. It's other players. So you can have other teams. You can come across other teams, and they may try and take your shit. And it's like probably the one thing that I think took everybody by surprise. And even the announcer said, well, why the fuck not, basically? You can actually go out into the world and hunt down, like, some abandoned, like, nuclear bomb sites, hijack nuclear bombs, and use the bombs to grief other people. So it's like...
You can nuke other players.
You can nuke other people and make the world around you into a fucking shithole. It's like they're giving you that freedom. It's like, oh my god, what are you doing? It's like, it's like, oh my god, everyone try to nuke each other now. Like, you do realize that's what's gonna happen. It's just gonna be a big race to who gets to the bombs first.
It's like griefing just gone to a completely different level with Fallout 76. And I'm laughing because it's like, this is a prequel to all the other Fallout games. And every Fallout game, you're always in like this post-apocalyptic world where everything is like destroyed from all the nukes. I'm just sitting here thinking, oh, is this why the world's always been into shit throughout these other Fallout games? All these other players just keep nuking the freaking world.
Ah, well.
Also, I love the fact that it's like we have all these like gruesome-looking monsters like you would expect to see from other Fallout games, but it's like I was stoked when I found out, holy shit, you can fight large-ass sloths. These large killer sloths. That's what that got me. That fucking got me.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's where it's like I don't know, like this was a lot of fun. So it's like I'm definitely gonna be keep my eye out on this one.
Okay. All right. And then next up, yeah, Elder Scrolls Blades. Okay. Oh, and okay, Starfield, their first new IP in years.
Yes,
Starfield.
And
we know nothing about it.
Yeah, that's like they literally just it's in space and we got a title and that's it. And then after that, they had the balls to say, "Oh, after we're done with Starfield, that's when we're gonna get Elder Scrolls 6." So yeah, don't expect another new Elder Scrolls game to show up for like another 20 goddamn years at this point. Just in the meantime, keep playing your Skyrim ports and please play the mobile game. That's pretty much the message that I got out of that thing. So it's like,
Well, I remember you kept saying it's like, of course they're gonna take their time and make it Elder Scrolls 6. They're gonna keep porting Skyrim to other consoles and all that shit. But I'm just like, what? Where else could they possibly port that? They already listen. Bethesda already made the joke where it's like, hey, you can play Skyrim with your Amazon Echo. Oh, I'm sorry, that wasn't enough. You can now play Skyrim on your fridge. Implying that, I think Bethesda already gets the memo that everybody is sick and tired of all of this Skyrim porting.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they're gonna stop. I mean, that's like I said.
Well, that goes back to saying where else could they possibly port it at? Nothing. Skyrim is literally everywhere.
The next console generation.
Which will be when exactly? Many years from now, Danny.
Probably in like another 3, I would anticipate. The problem is, it's like I said, we're not getting Elder Scrolls 6 until we get Starfield. They said that. And since we don't know shit about Starfield, since they didn't show anything about Starfield, that means they don't have anything to show. Probably little to no progress has been made on it. So, yeah.
As far as you know, probably next year's E3, they probably will have something to show off at the least.
I'm really not anticipating it.
Well, of course you would, because that's just how you are, and that's fine. But me personally, I'm not gonna over-exaggerate and be like, oh, hey, we're gonna wait like another 20 years for Elder Scrolls to come out, or like another 30 years for Starfield to actually show some progress. It's just like, okay.
All right, I'm stopping this argument right here and now.
I'm just saying that's just being unrealistic. I am stopping
this argument right here and now. Let's move to Square Enix.
oh yeah, right. Like there's really much to talk about with Square Enix, BJ.
There's plenty for me to talk about. I don't know what your deal is.
I know. I'm kidding.
Yeah, well, honestly, for BJ, there's really only one thing for him that he wants to talk about.
No, there's
Kingdom
a couple.
Hearts.
Well, I'm saving that for Sony, but there was a couple other.
Well,
ones.
no shit.
Well, it's like we already talked about Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Final Fantasy XIV. None of us are playing. Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit, which BJ already said. Dragon Quest, which I don't think any of us really have any experience on. Babylon's Fall, I think, is a new one. Octopath Traveler.
There it is. That's the one I want to talk about.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, because I'm actually excited for Octopath because it looks like a really, really fun RPG that I'm going to spend a lot of my time on and get obsessed with and not be able to do anything else.
Yeah, so it's like, I think they gave a release date for that finally, because they've been working on that one for a while.
Yeah, they did. I totally forgot what it was, though. God damn it. Yeah, we're supposed to be getting it relatively soon, but, like, I don't know. Like, I think it's going to be a relatively fun RPG to play. Like, with all the different classes and jobs that you can give to all these different characters. Like, I think it'll be cool.
Okay. Just Cause 4.
Kind of touched upon that, and then
Quiet Man, which, again, doesn't show too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's like much like a lot of other titles. It only showed off like, well, okay, well, it wasn't entirely a cinematic trailer. I mean, it did like, yeah, it had a cinematic moments, but it did merge into like little bits of gameplay. So I mean, it's like for what little it had to show us, like the concept alone, it's like, okay, it looks interesting enough, I guess.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know whether to take that as footage, but then when it comes to the gameplay, that's going to be a transition, or that's just the trailer. And it's like, you know, the game is just, you know, the actual game segments. There will be no live action segment.
I mean, it's
right.
And even with what they did show, it's like, okay, some guy who's probably deaf beats the shit out of a bunch of street thugs and leaves a paper bag. That's it. That's what we got out of it. So I'm like, that tells us nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm kind of wondering how they're gonna handle a game like that with the gentleman being deaf. Like, I'm wondering what exactly their plan is on that. I guess we'll see. Oh well. All right, so that's it for Square. Ubisoft.
Yeah, starting off with the no surprise next installment of Just Dance. And it's like I am not gonna lie. It's like when it comes to Ubisoft and starting off their conferences with Just Dance, they do not disappoint in the entertainment department. because it's like when they use the theme of like a freaking marching band and they play all these various songs in that format, you know, it's like, okay, it hit me home seeing as how I was a part of the marching band like all throughout high school and such. So it's like it's like, say what you will about Just Dance. Like if you like it, great. If you don't, more power to you. But you can't deny that they put on a really good show. Like to start off the conference.
I still can't believe they started off with a fucking furry. God damn it.
Oh.
The furries were taking over the conference.
Oh, that's hardly.
Oh well. In which case, so let's see. Trying to go in the exact order here. I'll just read it from here. So the first game they talked about was The Division 2. What was that again?
Oh yeah. Oh man. It was that cooperative third-person shooter game.
Okay.
Or whatnot. Yeah, it's unfortunately it was another one of those titles that honestly is like, okay, I mean, yeah, it looks all right, but nothing all that interesting.
Yeah. Oh well. Anyway, so okay, this was technically at the end of the conference, but whatever. There was the new Assassin's Creed game, Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Yeah, I really don't care about Assassin's Creed.
It's like, Jesus Christ! It felt like yesterday that they put out Assassin's Creed Origins.
I mean, this is Ubisoft's memo. I mean, it's like, you know, they've been doing this for years, where it's like, you know, they want a new Assassin's Creed game every goddamn year.
I mean, I like the sassy assassin we get this time around. She seems cool.
That is true. That's probably the only thing that stood out to me when it came to Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Yeah, was the sassy protagonist. So yeah, I could get behind that.
All right.
But other than that, it was just like, all right, whatever.
So anyway, next up, and I'm actually kind of excited for this, Beyond Good and Evil 2, which is a very misleading name because it's a fucking prequel.
Yeah, right? All this time I was thinking, okay, this is a flat-out sequel. And then we saw the cinematic trailer, and it threw out like a big bombshell at the end of the whole damn thing. So I'm just like, okay, hold on. When did Beyond Good and Evil 2 like do a complete 180 compared to the events of the first game? Only for them to say, oh no, it's not a sequel, it's a prequel. Wait. Then why add the 2 there?
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
Should have named it Beyond Good and Evil 0.5.
Yeah, exact 1/2 or some shit like that. But I mean, suffices to say, I mean, it's like, yeah, aside from showing off another like really a beautifully animated cinematic trailer, It's like they did show off a little bit of gameplay, and even then, it still looks a lot of fun to play.
Yeah,
it really does.
Well, I mean, yeah, a very very tiny amount, and it was only screen recording, so.
Yeah, it was a tiny amount, but even then, it still looked great.
Like I'm excited to see Paige again. It's interesting to see Jade working for the bad guys, but I guess we could just now assume that that's how she started. Because for those of you who don't know, Jade is the main character of Beyond Good and Evil 1, the one you play as. So
yes,
I think that'll be interesting enough. But yeah, it looked very pretty. I do like how they kind of stepped back from what they were trying with the first trailer they showed last year. Like it definitely toned that part down, and I think
like the initial trailer that nothing at all like Beyond Good and Evil.
Yeah.
So it's like, so I was like, I mean, good on them for like bringing in something recognizable at least. I guess it begs the question, why not show that off for the initial? But fuck it, I'm not in marketing.
I mean, I still thought the that initial trailer was still pretty, but oh well.
Oh yeah.
All right. So then next up, okay, Skull and Bones. What was that?
I don't know.
Let me see. What was Skull and Bones?
Skull and Bones.
Sounds like a pirate thing. Is that piratey?
I think it is. Oh God.
Maybe when I tuned out for. Piracy is dead. Oh wait, isn't that like another? Yeah, that's another one of those. Yeah, it's a pirate game. Okay. Anyway. Let's see. For Honor, Marching Fire.
For Honor. Oh, okay, yeah. That was. Yeah, I know for a fact that was a game I kind of skimmed past.
Okay. All right. So then, okay, a cool game, Starlink, which is the game which was the game that was crossing over with Star Fox.
Yeah. So I guess the whole Mario and success that they decided, all right, Nintendo, give us another IP that we can work.
I guess, sure. I mean, that was really cool. I mean, I geeked out at that. Now it's like, and it's funny. I said this in a tweet. It's like I don't even play Star Fox, but I only geeked out because I actually know who Star Fox is. Like this was the character that I actually recognized in this conference.
Yeah. Seeing the initial trailer like at the beginning, it's like it's like for a space game, it's like, okay, this looks pretty fun. All right, I could probably get behind those later down the road. But then when we get to the scene where one of the pilots is trying to get a hold of somebody through like the communications array or whatnot, and you hear the little snippets of like the Star Fox characters, like the little sounds they make in the original Super Nintendo game. And then it's like, hold up, is that Star Fox for the Super Nintendo? And they reveal Star Fox. It's like, I'm sorry, what? Now I play Star Fox, and I love Star Fox. So seeing a Star Fox crossover into this game, I'm like, oh, fuck yes.
And I can't help but laugh at the cover of the game also has Star Fox. And I'm sitting,
yes.
There was this tweet that I saw that I was laughing at, where it's like, it shows the cover of the game, and then it just says in the text when your one friend begs you to when you let your one friend come to the party with their furry suit. Something like that. I forget exactly.
Oh, it's like, oh god, you weren't kidding, BJ. The furries are taking over E3. Oh my god.
All right. Anyway, let's see. Trials Rising.
Oh, yes. It's that has the name, like that whole trial and error motorbike game where you have to go through all these obstacles as like a motorbike rider. I've seen it in action like from the guys at Achievement Hunter, and I mean it looks fun, but unfortunately it's something that doesn't really tickle my fancy. But it's great. But as someone who's like have seen like the many Trials games in action, I still can appreciate that it's still going strong even now.
Okay.
And it looks cool, but it's like I would have to try to get more into it to appreciate it a lot more.
Yeah. All right. So let's see here. Oh, here's my department: Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, the Donkey Kong Adventure. All right,
Yes.
so I'm the only one of us that played Mario Rabbids. I really liked it. I thought it was a really interesting game. So seeing Donkey Kong come in along with this Cranky Kong Rabbit and then Peach Rabbit for some reason, so it's effectively just gonna be an expansion of the game. Looks like like another little story mode, including specifically for Donkey Kong. I think it'll be interesting enough. Just based on what I've seen, it looks like Rabbid Peach will be playing the exact same. They probably did that so that way you have at least one character that you're familiar with. And I know why they did that too, because Rabbid Peach probably is one of the better characters in the game, because she's like your best healer. It looks like DK, though, it doesn't... Actually, from what I've seen, unless I may have missed it, DK doesn't get a gun. It looks like he just walks up to people and fucks them up. So, I think it'll be cool.
Yeah,
Like
it looks fun.
Yeah, seeing the showdown between Donkey Kong and Rabbid Kong, that'll be fun. Alright, anyway. Let's see. VR Horror Transference gets a trailer and window. Okay. The Crew 2. What was The Crew 2?
Oh, I believe it was like Ubisoft's own racing game.
Okay, so racing. Let's see. The Rainbow Siege 6 tournament. A Rainbow Six Siege tournament. Okay, so that's just a tournament.
Oh yeah. For the ongoing first-person shooter series that, Black Ops, all that shit.
All right, so that's enough for the Ubisoft then. So moving right along. I
think this one's Sony.
Well, I know there was the the PC Oh no, it was the developer something. It was, I forget what it was. We completely skipped it. So
what? Oh wait, you mean Devolver Digital?
I think that was what it was.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, trust me, you're not okay. I'll only say this for Devolver Digital's conference. It was completely scripted. It was pre-recorded, all that shit. Think of it as like a very bizarre and extremely self-aware E3 abridged.
Oh well. Okay.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Anyway,
Other than that,
to
it's
Sony,
to
Sony, the one that we actually got our live reactions for. So if you guys have seen our Sony reactions, you kind of already got a little hint of what we think of a lot of this. Mm-hmm. Starting with The Last of Us 2. Now this was a game I want to play for sure.
Yeah, that being said, before we actually go into the games, I will say this, though, because the general consensus from what I've been seeing on Twitter, and it's the more I think about it, I am inclined to agree. Despite how good the games look, the way Sony handled their conference itself was really freaking weird. Because it was it started out you had every a separate venue, in an outdoor tent or something. They were not in the actual room where the rest of the conference is when they opened it up with The Last of Us. Because it was if you start the beginning of the conference, the room that they're in, it was made to look like the room where The Last of Us trailer takes place in, where Ellie, this barnyard dance thing going on and everything. So it's they were clearly in another room just for The Last of Us. And then once that was over, everybody moved on to the other room where they showcased. Kind of why? What's the deal with that? It's why move everybody from room to room? Why not just pick a spot and just show everything? Yeah. Or just keep everybody in the first room. I like the idea that they make it match The Last of Us. It's that made it stand out, so why not just stay there? That was probably the freaking E3 conference was that first part for The Last of Us. So I was yeah, why didn't they just stay there?
Yeah. I mean, you saw how large the arena was when they actually moved, when they actually moved for the rest of the trailers. I don't think they could have fit everybody into that little tent.
I know,
yeah.
But still, it was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Minty Flare. At the time, Banjo Hero was trending during that presentation.
The Banjo
yeah. Oh, yeah, because that was another thing. It's not the only one that decided, okay, we're, before we actually go into the games, you know, we're gonna have somebody on stage and like, you know, perform like a song or music or something that has to do with the game. It's just Sony's was, I guess, handled a lot more gracefully.
Shit.
Right.
I mean, it was like, yeah, it was like for The Last of Us, you just had one guy on a banjo just playing music and everything. It was like, you know, not for nothing, it was very nice. So it's like, you know, I'm assuming the song must be from the game or something, you know, because it was like, okay, once we moved into the trailer and then you see, you know, Ellie, like they're at like a barnyard dance and everything, and everybody's like, you know, they're dancing around the country music and everything. And then you see Ellie, you know, where she goes and like dances with this other girl and everything. That's where I was like, you know, okay, you know. So the music fits with how the trailer, how it moved into the trailer. Like it flowed very naturally.
Yeah.
It was a lot better than, you know, get ready to die to the most generic shooter ever. You know, none of that.
None of that. Shame on you. But talking about the game itself, like, it definitely looks a lot more intricate than Last of Us 1 was, and that's saying something considering that game was already really intricate. Still want to know where Joel is. It sounds like he's okay, because the guy that Ellie was talking to in the beginning of the trailer he said something about her old man really hounding him. So I assume he's fine somewhere, but until I see him, I'm gonna worry.
Yeah.
Also,
but it's like, I mean,
also calling it now, Ellie's new girlfriend. She's gonna die miserably.
you know what's happening. It's whenever a game, like, you know, whenever for like a reveal trailer or whatever, it's like whenever you show off a love interest, a child, or a dog, 90% chance that person's gonna die at some point in the game. It's such a cliched and cheap narrative device that like you come to expect it.
It's sad but true though.
Wait, I have an idea. Ellie, keep making out with your girlfriend. Maybe your weird DNA that makes you immune to the cordyceps will pass to her. Then maybe she will be immune to the cordyceps. Though then again, that we didn't see a single goddamn cordyceps in that entire trailer. It was people that was going after Ellie.
Yeah.
So.
That was also pretty weird. That's where I was half expecting. I was like, okay, where are the clickers? Where's that clicking noise? Like, I'm just expecting that it's like, okay, she may start going up against humans, but then you're gonna hear in the distance that little clicking noise with those enemies, and then it's like, oh shit, a swarm's coming or something. And it's like,
shit.
And it's like, no plant mutant zombie creatures. So it's just like, I don't know. I really wanted to. I mean, it was like, that was the beauty behind The Last of Us was like, okay, technically it was zombies and shit, but the way they went about it, the way they designed them and everything was so unique that I was just like, come on, I want to see that again.
Yeah, they were mushrooms. They were fungus.
Yeah, I was like, I want to see that. Come on.
Yeah.
Yes, they were fungi.
All right then. So moving right along, I'm gonna save that for last. Yeah, I'm gonna try to go in the actual order. Ghost of Tsushima. This game looked fucking cool.
Yeah, it's
it did.
Yeah,
it
none
looked
of us
fun.
know.
It looked gruesome. Love it.
Yeah, and it's like, here's the thing. Like, I was actually, I think, pro Jared, because, you know, he's been doing, like, you know, just 20-minute, like, you know, thoughts and everything after each conference. And something that he brought up, which I don't think any of us were really thinking about when we were watching the initial trailer, was, like, you know, the way they were doing the gameplay and everything. That's where I was like, I don't know if maybe this is going to be added later, like, or they're just, you know, either they're going to add it later, or this is indeed how they're approaching it. Because it's like, you know, usually, yeah, whenever you have, like, these kinds of, like, hack and slash games and shit, there's always, like, button prompts, or there's, like, a score counter or something to, like, really indicate, like, you know, when are you going to strike, and, you know, when and where you're going to strike, how much damage you're doing, that kind of shit. You see none of that in this game. So that kind of begs the question, is that shit going to be added later? And this is just, you know, because this was really like the first true gameplay trailer that we got and everything, that's like, we're just going to showcase what it looks like? Or is this really what it's going to be like? Where, I mean, it's like, you don't have a prompt to tell you when to counter or when to strike. You actually have to naturally learn and flow with the battle.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of hoping that they're going to stick with the latter because, yeah, usually in these hack and slash games, there's always something that tells you, okay, move here, press this button to strike, press this button to counter, do this, do that, or like the grappling hook. You know, you have to move around till you see a little icon that tells you, okay, I'm going to hook up there. You don't see that in this game. So that's where it's just like, again, that's why I'm wondering, like, are they going to add that later? Or are they going to keep that, or are they going to keep that out? So it's all up to you to, you know, keep up with the flow of battle, pay attention to the environment, and, you know, just, you know, it's all up to you. And I'm really hoping it's going to be all up to you because that would actually be really cool. You don't see that often.
Yeah. All right. So then, what was after that? There was
I know
it's not put in the order. Fuck it, whatever. Let's just I'll just leave it from the order that the list has.
Okay. Well, because they were doing some trailers and stuff like in between. Because it was like, you know, yeah, they did, yeah, like they only about game, but they did show off like some other trailers in between.
Yeah. Like I know there was that one game that showed like the woman that was like psychic.
Control.
Control, that's right. Okay, yeah, Control.
Yeah, that one looked interesting, I gotta say. Yeah, she's like psychic or something. She can like turn shit into cubes or something. I mean, that's like, I'm trying to think, like, Ryan, you'll get the joke, but I swear to God, like, when I was thinking face, it's like, Ryan, you should get that. But it's like, but yeah, I was like, that was definitely interesting. Okay, so cubes, your things, but it's like, you're dissolving shit or you're recreating shit or something. Like, I don't know, it was kind of weird, but it looked interesting.
Yeah. All right. Okay, you know what? Why don't we just get it out of the way? Kingdom Hearts 3.
Okay.
Because I know, in terms of what's going on in general, that's like the second big one for this entire E3. Like, they didn't really talk about it a whole lot, but I think it's safe to say, aside from Smash, this was like the other most anticipated thing.
Right. It's like, yeah, with the Xbox trailer. No, not the X. Well, okay. Well, yeah, technically the Xbox trailer. Because keep in mind, yeah, they did show up. Surprisingly, they showed Kingdom Hearts 3 at the Xbox conference first, not Square Enix first, and all that. It's like, I mean, not that I'm complaining or anything, but it's like, not honestly, it took me by surprise. But during the Xbox conference, they finally showed off.
I'll pretty much go over what was, because like, in all due reality, as much as odd as it sounds, they actually didn't really show off a whole lot. Like, what they showed, what they showed was kind of major in terms of information for the game, but not a whole lot. Like, I can list off on one hand what they showed. They showed that we got a Frozen world now, which, may I add, I saw some of you in the chat there as well, you know, talking about this. Why are people upset that Frozen's in the game? Frozen was a fantastic movie.
It's because of how popular the movie
fucking
is.
Hipsters, that's all I have to say. You're all fucking hipsters.
Yeah, exactly.
The problem, I think the problem is, it's like, you know, if you don't like the movie, then stuff. The problem is, I think it's more so, it's the overexposure effect. Because, like, don't get me wrong, I love Frozen, I love that movie, but even I will admit, it was getting a little crazy, the fact that it was fucking everywhere. But then I have to stop and think back to when I was 10 years old, and I couldn't get away from the fucking Lion King when I was 10 years old. So, I mean, it's like, we were no different. Same shit going on. But then Disney had the period where, you know, they weren't doing so good. But now that they're coming back and everything, it's like Frozen today is what the Lion King was to us when we were kids. That was fucking everywhere for a very long time. You could not get away from the Lion King.
Right.
So it's like I think a lot of it has to do with the overexposure. People are just sick of seeing Frozen, whether they like the movie or not. But it's like, that being said, like, I don't know why people should be shocked. You know, it's like it's such a financially successful movie. Of course, it's going to show up in there.
I don't think it's so much that they're shocked. I think it was one of those things where it's like they know it was going to happen, but they didn't want it to happen. Like it would like a grit kind of teeth kind of thing, and I don't get why, honestly. Like,
yeah, it's like, let's be real. It's like the moment they made the initial announcement for Kingdom Hearts 3 during E3 2013, literally everybody was speculating that, okay, there's definitely going to be a Frozen world in there. And so, yeah, it's like, it should be no-brainer that because of how successful Frozen was, yeah, there's no doubt there was going to be a Frozen world in Kingdom Hearts 3. But the fact that it's like, oh, after like nearly 5 years later, oh, now we finally get a Frozen world.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking, well, it's about damn time.
Yeah, if anything, that's where I'm just fucking long enough. I mean, we knew it was coming. Well, that being said, though, I am glad that, you know, we did get to see some other worlds, because you gotta remember, for the long time, the only worlds we were really seeing in action was like the Hercules world. And that was it. So I'm at least glad that, okay, Frozen got announced, but we also saw a lot of the world. It's not just, you know, it's not just, okay, here's like a brief glimpse or something. No, we actually saw what Arendelle looks like, what the characters look like. We got a glimpse of how they're trying to fit Elsa into the story. So it's like, you know, okay, they're showing that off. We finally saw some more of Rapunzel. We saw like the Tangled world, because that was one of the first worlds, I think, that we saw, and yet we saw nothing up until this point. So it's like, okay, we are finally seeing something out of that. You know, we saw a little bit more, I think, of the Story world. Still no Big Hero 6. Where the fuck are you, Baymax?
I know. It's like that world was the second world to ever be confirmed, and they still aren't showing anything on it.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, so there was that, you know.
Anyway, I know pretty much what was shown at the Xbox trailer, kind of going in order. Yeah, was Frozen. And then for story details, showing that Aqua became a vessel for Xehanort. You know, that's what we got. Which I know, for most hardcore Kingdom Hearts fans, was a really big deal. Especially for people who love Aqua. Like, I know that caught me off guard. I really like Aqua, so that kind of took me by surprise, and I was kind of upset to see that. Fuck you, Xehanort.
I'm not... yeah, meanwhile, I see that, and I'm like, I'm not surprised in the slightest, just because it's like, he's like, you realize how long Aqua has been in the world of darkness? She's not going to come out of that okay.
Well, no. That has nothing to do with it. It wasn't that she succumbed to darkness. Xehanort took her over. That's what happened. At some point, Xehanort went there and took her body, like he did with Terra.
Either way, you know, either way, not fucking shocked. I
don't know how you could not be shocked.
Probably because I don't care about King.
Well, that's you then. So then...
No, that's where I'm in. Yeah, because, again, I know past, I am approaching Kingdom Hearts high hopes, but, you know, my expectations for it, I'm keeping it low, because despite what they're showing, I still don't trust Square. I still don't trust that, you know, despite all this, they're not going to try and pull a fucking fast one at the very end. So I'm just like... I'm trying not. Because I don't trust Square.
Anyway,
I'm sorry. It's like, I will say this though. It's like, unlike granted, during the Square Enix conference, they essentially showed off the exact same trailer. But one thing they did add with the trailer they showed with the Square Enix conference, they did show off just a little bit of Ratatouille.
Well, I was gonna say that, that was pretty much what I was gonna say next. Like, during the Square conference, yeah, they showed, the only new thing they showed was that Remy is making an appearance somehow. Now, people are assuming he's a summon. That's the most obvious idea. I think there's also a possibility, just based on what we saw, maybe it's minigame. Maybe there's some kind of, maybe Remy will help Sora make items and shit, like maybe like potions or I don't know, something cool like that. I think that'd be pretty neat.
Yeah,
but I
could
think
definitely see that.
I think the most likely answer though is that he's a summon like Wreck-It Ralph. So there's that. And then during the Sony conference, this was the big one. We got a confirmation of another world, which is going to be the return of the Pirates of the Caribbean world, specifically for the third Pirates movie.
Yeah, so we're skipping Pirates 2.
Yeah, because
it makes sense because it's like of course Pirates 3, branches off of the events of Pirates 2 because it's like, yeah, we met the main villain in Pirates 2, but there was no conclusion of that.
Ryan, Pirates 2 has not been in Kingdom Hearts. They've just so far we've only had Curse of the Black. So they're jumping from 1 to 3.
I get that, but in the concept of
the whole deal is that I know why they did this because Pirates 2 ended on a major cliffhanger that Pirates 3 continued. So especially since that it's been confirmed that Kingdom Hearts 3 is supposed to be the conclusion of the Xehanort saga. It would be shut up, Danny. Yeah. It would be really sloppy. No, Danny, quiet. It would be my point is, it would be very sloppy of them to have the Pirates world be based off of Pirates 2 and then end on a cliffhanger like how Pirates 2 ended.
Yeah, see, that's exactly my point. That's why I was saying it makes sense for them to skip Pirates 2 and rely on reference Pirates 3 for the big return for the Pirates world.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to establish all along, Danny, but you just completely skipped past that.
Sorry.
In which case, I think the only other major thing that I noticed anyway, there was actually two other major things that I noticed in the Sony version of the Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer. One was that we saw Vanitas. We saw Vanitas mention something about the Unversed and how they're running around and they were running around the Monsters Inc. world, which makes me think, okay, so we got Heartless, Nobodies, and Unversed that we're dealing with. Fun. The last major thing that I noticed, and this is another personal story thing. This has not been confirmed. This is actually more speculation on my end. Sorry.
Okay. No, it's all good.
I noticed a major thing that was actually talked about a lot in all three trailers was them referring back to the digital Twilight Town that Ansem created to keep Roxas prisoner while Naminé continued restoring Sora's memories and heart. So I think speculation has been created that because they're going back to what was that one guy's name? He used to be a member of the organization. He was the guy with the long emo hair, and he fought with the book. What was that guy's name? I can never remember his name. Regardless, he was the scientist. He's a scientist. He was helping Sora and the Twilight Town gang figure out what's going on with the data Twilight Town. So I think it's speculated that maybe they're going to try to create a digital body for Roxas to bring to the real world and then move his heart from Sora's heart to this new body.
Huh.
I think that's what's speculating what might be happening here. Because
Okay.
I know at the end of Recoded, we find out that effectively what Sora's mission is for Kingdom Hearts 3 is to save the Birth by Sleep trio as well as to save Roxas and Xion. That's his mission. So this is probably their way. This is probably going to be his way of trying to save Roxas and they're going to the data Twilight Town because they think more than likely there might be backup spare data of Roxas there. So they may be able to create a body from him that way.
So I have to ask, why does Roxas need saving?
Because for one thing, Axel misses him. They just want to bring him back. That's all they need. That's all they want right now. They want to bring him back. They want to give him his own. They want to give him his own life. That was effectively that's what was established and recoded. These 5 people, Terra, Aqua, Ventus, and then Roxas and Shion. They're all lost. They all need to be saved, and that's effectively Sora's goal right now. Sora, Kairi, and Riku's goal is to save these people.
But wasn't it established at the end of Kingdom Hearts 2 that because the nobodies, you saw Naminé go back to Kairi and you go back to Sora and everything, the nobodies, they basically went back to him to become whole. They basically became part of them. They became them.
Yeah, Sora doesn't care. Sora is a very sympathetic fuck. And he recognizes that while Roxas was alive as a nobody, he did develop his own heart. And while Roxas may have submitted to the idea of becoming one with Sora, Sora sure as hell hasn't. So he just wants to give Roxas his own life because Sora's a good kid.
Oh, all right. Okay. Going back to something you were trying to think about earlier. A couple people in the chat would be like, what was it? Dark Meta was asking, were you referring to Zexion?
Zexion, yeah, that's his name. Thank you, or whatever his real name is before, because Zexion is his nobody name. So whatever his real name is, because he's no longer a nobody now. Anyway, I think I've tangented enough about Kingdom Hearts 3. I got the
we essentially covered.
We got the major things out of the way that were actually revealed. Like I said, not a whole lot. They were major things for hardcore Kingdom Hearts fans like myself. Aside from that, not a whole lot. So let's just go ahead and move on.
Alrighty.
So let's move to Death Stranding because that's next on the list.
Does anybody know what the fuck Death Stranding is about?
From what I've seen, honestly, and I think this would be really cool, it looks like an open world survival horror game. And that sounds badass, honestly.
I mean, it does sound cool, but that's everybody I've been. Everyone still has that. It's like, for everything that you've shown, okay, we see that it is world, and we see that there is some kind of invisible monsters, and apparently you're using your fetus as a flashlight or something. But what the fuck is this game about? We still it's one of those things it really is a trailer that has much and yet says so little.
Well, I think that's the big thing. We know nothing about the game's plots, and that's Kojima for you, honestly.
It's like, oh my god, it's like if there was a time that I actually wish that there was a guy that would stage and actually explain the fucking game, this was it.
Oh, and to quickly answer the question from the people in chat, yes, Death Stranding, this is the new game being produced by Hideo Kojima.
Yeah, remember, this is the guy who made Metal Gear. He's known for making really, really fucking weird and confusing plots. So, I'm sure we'll get an explanation at some point, but right now he's probably just keeping it on the down low.
Yeah, right. But at the same time, it was this. Announced 2 years ago or something?
Pretty much.
Yeah, so it's great to see that we have gameplay. I'm glad to see that, okay, we see what the game looks like in action, but it's really? You couldn't even divulge a little bit of the story so we can see so we can understand, who is this guy, this world that we're in, what's with the baby? I'm not saying we need gratuitous details or anything, but I mean, at least give us something, because it's because that's the thing I've noticed on Twitter, with people talking about Death Stranding. I've noticed a lot more people just going, that they are losing interest fast because they have yet to tell us anything about this game.
Mm-hmm. Oh well.
It's like Kojima, what have you been smoking throughout this entire development process of this game? And also, can I have some?
I don't think you want what Kojima takes.
Oh.
Oh well.
But he's so good though.
Yeah, if you want to use a fetus for a flashlight.
Anyway, let's go ahead and move on to the Resident Evil 2 remake.
Yeah, this one caught everybody. No one was anticipating this.
Nope.
Yeah, I haven't been that big onto Resident Evil. I've seen plenty of Resident Evil games in action, but even I was like, holy shit, the remaking #2? I'm sorry.
I'm still kind of sad that it wasn't a VR game where you play as a rat. I still want that game now.
Oh my god. Yes.
You scurry around trying to get food while also trying to avoid getting killed.
That rat did nothing wrong. He was just trying to find some food.
Yeah, I just hope like I'm more than willing to give Resident Evil a shot. I tried playing the original day, and it was like I don't think I got very far into it, and I think it was because the tank controls. Like I still am not too much of a big fan about the tank controls and stuff. Like I know Silent Hill dived a little bit into that, but Silent Hill was not nearly as action heavy as Resident Evil was. So the tank controls to me felt, was really frustrating in the old school Resident Evil games. So I'm hoping
I don't think that'll be an issue this time around because
I'm hoping that's the case.
Well, no, correct me if I'm wrong, because this game looks like it's using the gameplay based off of like Resident Evil 4 and 5. So
I never played Resident Evil 5.
And I don't think those games use tank controls, so you should be fine on that.
Okay.
Because it's not like the fixed camera and with the different perspective. It's an over the shoulder game. So.
Okay, yeah, because it's like I know I don't keep up with Resident Evil games, so I mean that's like I'm sure they're not using the tank controls nowadays. I'm just thinking like because they're classic second one and everything. That's like please tell me you're giving us the updated controls and it's not just. Okay, we got the same tank controls and stuff, but it's the updated graphics. Just give us the good controls, and I can play this without getting frustrated.
Yeah. Oh, well. Alright, so then next up, let's talk about Spider-Man.
Oh, my God. Spider-Man. Oh, my God. It looks so good.
Yeah, that really does. Looks like really fun, really fast, really action-packed. Good to see the Sinister Six. Yeah, we got Electro, Rhino, Scorpion, Vulture, and then Mr. Negative, who I didn't even know existed. But I guess is because like I was mentioning during the reactions, like how the Sinister Six normally involve the 4 that we saw, and then Mr. Sandman, and then Doc Ock. I don't know who Mr. Negative is. That one's new to me. But then again, just like how there's multiple continuities within the comics, this is probably another one of those cases where. This is probably has majority of the general Sinister Six cast, but I guess whoever Mr. Negative is, I guess we'll see, and then whoever the sixth mystery villain is, I'm gonna assume it's Doc Ock, but who knows? So I guess we'll see on that. But
I mean, regardless, I know I'm willing to look into this and everything. I mean, it's I know I'm trying to think it was this gameplay trailer or have they been showing previous gameplays?
They have been showing gameplay videos in the past, but for the most part it was it mostly took place in the city, in the daytime. It was just seeing Spider-Man just beating up standard mooks. So it's I was stoked when we saw this trailer, and it's yeah, it was gameplay, but it took place in a completely different location. It was nighttime, and on top of that we saw actual villains.
Okay.
Like the Sinister Six.
Well, yeah, because that's where I was wondering. Because this Spider-Man stuff and everything. So that's this one had very much Asylum feel to it, and I adored Arkham Asylum. I thought that game was great. I was like a little kid watching Batman the animated series all over again when I was playing that game. So that's where I was like, I loved that game. And this one looked okay. Gonna try and do something similar to it, but this is Spider-Man. Spider-Man's a little bit more lighthearted than Batman. I mean, he's still throwing crazy one-liners and shit. So I'm like, okay, I can wrap my head around this, and it looks like it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, at the time I could totally see where you're coming from when it kind of gave off some Arkham Asylum vibes, and it's yeah, it's considering how Spider-Man handles a lot of these fighting techniques and combos and such, it's the combat in general just looked really fun to play.
Yeah.
Oh man, but I also love how it's like during the chase with Electro. It's like, my God, the chase scene was like cinematic as fuck. Like everything in the building was like being blown up or being destroyed as you were chasing Electro, and it's like it looked fucking glorious.
Yeah, that being said, please, for the love of God, let this actually be like gameplay. Do not let it be like scripted shit just to, show off. Like, oh, this is what the game's gonna look like for a conference, and then the game comes out and none of it is there.
Yeah.
Like, please let that not be the case.
Dark Meta says that last character it could either be Doc Ock, Green Goblin, or Mysterio.
Well, those are all big, major Spider-Man villains. I guess we'll see.
I remember seeing a Twitter post where it's like they show a screenshot of like the last moment with the Spider-Man trailer where Spider-Man was like, "You," and keep in mind, this thing that Spider-Man was looking at, it was like radiating like this yellow glow or whatever. But then it's like we see that image, and then we see the image of Goku from Jump Force.
Jeez. All right. Anyway, moving right along. What was Neo 2?
Neo, I don't remember. I don't know much about it. I just know that it was a game that came out a couple of years ago, and I guess people liked it.
Let me see. Hold on. What was that game again?
Like, I think it's like I think it's like another set. I think.
Is it? Oh, I got a trailer right here. That's an ad. Ah, fuck it, whatever. We'll move on. Okay, let's see. Control. Okay, we just talked about that. Trover saves the universe.
Which one was
Wait.
that?
That was the game that made by the Rick and Morty guys.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So another trail tells us absolutely nothing about the game. Just like, okay, we know it's by the Rick and Morty guys, so we expect the same kind of humor, and we know Morty is in this game. You hear the character talk, and it's the fucking Morty voice. I mean, down to his inflections and shit. I mean, it's like, it's fucking Morty. It's a different character, but the voice is fucking Morty.
It's Justin Roiland. That's what it is, and I love it.
No, but I mean, he's using the exact same voice that he uses for Morty.
Yeah,
so
it's funny enough. You could expect to see the same kind of shtick, like in the last big VR game that they made. Let me see. I believe it was called Accounting. Fucking hilarious, I might add.
Okay.
All right.
Buzz.
Jordan, no, we already talked about Control. Okay. Anyway, so let's see. They mentioned how the new God of War game will be getting a new Game Plus mode. That's neat.
Yeah, I still want to get that Data Boy. I still want to get that. I heard a lot of good things. Even one of the guys at work, he says you've got to get this game. This game is great. Like he was he was explaining it to me, and like I know one of the things I asked him, okay, this little kid that's following you around, is this kid a fucking hindrance, or is he actually like legitimately good AI? And he's like, no, this is like legitimately good AI. So I was like, okay, then I'm gonna have to get this game sometime.
I still need to get that game, but also go through the original God of War trilogy before getting Data Boy.
Or you could or you can just watch Super Game Brothers play it and then just go right to Data Boy.
But I already bought the collection. I want to try it out for myself because it looks so much fun.
Okay. Anyway, Black Ops. Does anyone care about Black Ops?
No.
Well, it's like all I know is just I only remember I just recognized well, would you look at that? They're reusing maps from older games and putting them into newer games. But that's pretty much it, really. Yeah, honestly, I kind of stopped after. No, don't lie to yourself, BJ. That's not neat. Stop it. All I know is that I initially stopped at Black Ops 1. I only did Black Ops 2 once with a group of friends, but that's pretty much it. After that, I pretty much stopped with the whole Call of Duty thing.
Okay, then what about Destiny 2? Anyone care about Destiny 2?
No.
God, that is another game. It's like, was like ever since Destiny 1, it looks hella fun. Honestly, it gave me like in a way kind of gave me some Borderlands vibes, it's not nearly as humorous compared to Borderlands,
Oops.
and it looks fun. And I just recently got it from a sweet deal, so it's like as much as I want to get more like into like the upcoming DLC with Destiny 2, unfortunately, I have yet to try it, and I need to.
Okay. Alright, so let's see here. Oh, okay, so that looks like it's everything for Sony then. So I guess it's time for Nintendo.
Yeah, so let's talk about everything except for Smash.
Alright, so going in order from the list that I have here, I guess we'll start with Fortnite being available on Switch. Do we actually care?
No.
Well, I mean, it's not that I like flat out don't care per se. I want to give it a shot at one point, but it's one of those things where it's like, oh, would you look at that? Oh, okay, that's neat. A really popular battle royale game coming to the Switch, and it's still free. Neato. All right.
So the next step, Fire Emblem 3 Houses. Now I'm excited for this because it's fucking Fire Emblem, and I love Fire Emblem. Okay.
So I know during the conference, this was when my computer went down and everything. So I missed this. So what exactly are they doing with Fire Emblem?
So they're doing yeah, it looks like they didn't really show too much. It looks like, just another war going on. We saw a couple of the characters. They didn't really go into depth about anything really. One major thing that I saw though that I think is going to be really cool. It looks like each individual unit you get will not be by themselves. It looks like each individual unit will also be getting like their own little squadron of just mook soldiers to fight alongside.
Ooh.
And it looks like, and this is just what I'm assuming from what I've seen of the trailer, it looks like maybe it looks like perhaps the strength of your unit will also vary depending on how many soldiers you have accompanying them, and then how many soldiers are accompanying the unit you're fighting. So.
Oh, so you're literally building an army.
Yeah.
So is this like a remake of an older time?
No, this is brand new. This is definitely brand new.
Ooh, okay.
Brand new name. They're all characters that I don't recognize. This is a brand new Fire Emblem game.
All right. Okay then. All right. Color me interested.
And we can expect the main lord to end up in Smash Switch at some point.
Yeah, probably as an Echo Fighter.
Probably. I guess we'll see. Alright, so then, yeah, aside from that, there really wasn't a whole lot more to talk about for Fire Emblem 3 Houses, so we'll move right along. There's Super Mario Party. That looks fun.
Oh, yeah, I would imagine so, considering that apparently, from what I've noticed, they're using the original formula for Super Mario Party.
That's gonna be good.
The original Mario Party. God, now I'm going to be calling it Super Mario Party all the time. God damn it. But yeah, they're using the original formula for Mario Party as opposed to the formula they've been using for Mario Parties 9 and 10.
Yeah.
So are you going to be able to play online?
They didn't say. Shit. I actually, you know what? I asked that same question during the reaction video, which okay, I should also mention real quick. The Nintendo Direct reaction for everything other than Smash, that'll go up sometime tomorrow night, so we'll get that done.
Okay,
anyway,
yeah, because I mean, it's like, if this ends up being like play online and I can play with you guys, then all right, I can get this game. If not, I'm not gonna waste my money. Because
I won't either, but it's like,
yeah.
It looks like it will definitely be able to connect amongst multiple Switches, but it only showed it locally. It didn't show anything about it being online. So hopefully they finally figured that one out and figured, you know what, people like playing this game with their friends. Maybe we should make it online. It didn't say though, so I guess we'll figure that part out later.
Right.
But it definitely looked, like a basic Mario Party, except for some reason Bowser's now suddenly a playable character, and that one threw me for a loop.
Yeah. I was surprised they didn't pull off another Bowser mode or Bowser Party or something.
And if they do, who's going to be the villain taking Bowser's spot? I guess we'll see on that. Oh well.
Oh God, no.
All right. So what else? Okay, yeah, they showed more stuff for Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. nothing really new that we didn't already know. Like, it just says right here that Mew was revealed for it. But, okay. Wait, hold on. Mew is confirmed for the brand new... Okay, but you can only get it if you buy the Pokemon Plus. Oh, okay, so if you get the Pokemon Plus accessory, the Pokeball Plus accessory, you get a free Mew with it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh god. Oh jeez.
Alright, anyway then. So, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, the Torna, the Torna the Golden Country shit. This is gonna be really hard to talk about without spoiling shit, because that's a game I refuse to spoil for you guys, honestly. Whether it's you play it yourselves, or I let's play it, because I plan on let's playing that game at some point. But,
Okay.
that's gonna be really hard to fucking talk about then. I mean, to be as subtle as I can, I think it's gonna be really cool for context of the story. Like,
Well, I think from what you were saying, like when we were watching the conference, is that this DLC takes place, I guess, during like a point in the history or something that's like vaguely hinted at in the original game. So it looks like we're getting details or something.
Well, like this is a past thing. Like it takes place, what was it, like 100+ years ago from the points of when Xenoblade Chronicles 2 actually takes place. But it is shown what goes on. It's mostly only talked about in flashbacks. We do get context of what's going on. We get the basic context. We don't get but there are just some random little hidden details that we don't really that never really clarified. They're not really important enough to the story to be clarified, but it looks like this DLC will be clarifying them, so that'll be cool. And it looks like on top of that, we will be getting some new playable characters to be using exclusively for this DLC, and that's also gonna be something to look forward to. All right. So next up, Dragon Ball FighterZ is coming to Switch. Cool. Moving on. Let's see. Octopath getting another demo. Cool. Moving on. Okay, here we go. Overcooked 2, Hollow Knight, and Killer Queen.
Okay, well I can tell you I have bought Hollow Knight. I started playing it. It's fun.
Oh, okay. I mean, it looked fun to play, and it looked adorable. So I was like, okay, this is a really fun-looking game.
Yeah, it's basically a dungeon explorer platformer game. It's taking me some time to get used to because I don't play a lot of like the dungeon crawler games, but it's fun. I am liking it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's $15 on the eShop now.
Oh, all right. But yeah, and then it's like freaking Overcooked 2. It's like, all right, I know I've seen I played Overcooked, and I've seen many other people play Overcooked or whatever. Honestly, I'm awfully surprised that it was that good and they made a sequel. So I'm rather hyped for Overcooked 2. However, will I get it immediately? Probably not. But still, the fact they're making a sequel, that's freaking amazing. But probably the biggest thing when it came to like the indie games that Nintendo was going over, Killer Queen Black. I have not seen that game in a while. And I remember they debuted this game at this arcade bar called Up Down. And it's like a select group of people. If you're lucky enough, you could get in and play as one of the teams in Killer Black. Think of it as kind of like some really bizarre. Oh man, it's really hard to describe it in a way. It's like I would like to say it's sort of like a capture the flag kind of game. Only it's not directly like capture the flag. There's a bunch of other stuff that happens throughout the game too. But it is a really, really fun game to play. And even back then, I thought, okay, it's probably going to be just exclusive to just like standard arcades and all that. So it's like, okay, I mean, it's a really awesome game, but it's like, okay, that was fun while it lasted. But no, it's like I'm stoked that they're adding this to the Switch because if memory serves, this is the first time this game is going to be coming onto a console. I don't recall ever hearing any news about Killer Queen Black being on any other console other than the Switch. So what they have to store for the console version of this game, that I'm curious to see about.
Okay. All right then. So moving right along. Okay, this was actually the first game that was showcased in during the E3 was Daemon X Machina. That name sounds so fucking familiar.
It kind of does, actually, yeah.
No, I think you're confusing it with Deus Ex Machina.
You're right. Actually, you're right. Deus Ex Machina. That's right. Okay.
Huh, that's weird.
You know what? That might be a pun then. Daemon X Machina. That's probably a pun.
That name sounded familiar to me, but shit, even I wasn't thinking Deus Ex Machina. Oh, god damn it.
But yeah, fighting robots. I mean, kind of a weak way to start the direct, considering how it ended. I mean, I don't think it matters.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like, to be fair, considering what they had in store for the rest of the direct, it was probably best that they started off with that to begin with, just to get that out of the way.
Yeah.
Not to say that game looks like terrible or boring by any means. It looked fucking badass. But it's like, compared to the other titles they would eventually announce, yeah, it was probably best for them to start with that off first.
So, in any which case, before we end this off, because I think actually at this point it is getting a little late. I know we said we would do the Smash discussion separately in a different live stream after this one, but I think it is getting a little late. So we're probably gonna have to do it either tomorrow night or another night whenever we're all together. We'll shoot for tomorrow night. Well, but I do want to end off real quickly on just a couple of things that kind of surprised me for Nintendo specifically, because there were games that were announced last year that we didn't see hide or hair of this year, like Metroid Prime 4 we didn't see anything on, that new Yoshi game, and this is just me personally, I'm kind of salty that we didn't get a trailer for Yokai 3 localization. That's just me.
Oh my god, that's a good point, actually.
Well, that's another thing I've noticed. Like, a lot of people, not just with Nintendo, just E3 in general, in all the conferences, there have been a lot of games that people were hoping to hear more information on, and they got nothing. And it's been pissing off a lot of people. Like, I know, like, that's for Nintendo. For Sony,
Final Fantasy VII.
I've given up on the Final Fantasy VII a long time ago. No, I mean, it's like, well, considering the fact that, Square fired the company that was originally working on this thing, and they're going to develop it in-house, and since it takes them forever to develop something in-house, even if it's episodic, which it won't at this point, it's like, I've given up hope on it. So it's like, as far as I'm concerned, the Final Fantasy VII remake is fucked. But it's like, I know people were hoping for that, was not expecting it. Nothing on the Spyro reboot, like the trilogy and everything, nothing on that. Wasn't Medieval announced a little bit ago? Like, isn't that
right? Yeah, we didn't see anything on Medieval.
Like, yeah, nothing on that. I know I think, like, still going back to Nintendo, I think people are still holding out hope for Mother 3. Like, to the point, like, I actually just, like, recently retweeted, like, a joke video that somebody made that they were like, oh, why didn't they show this during the announcement and everything? And, like, it's an obviously fake announcement trailer for Earthbound 2, a.k.a. Mother 3. But, I mean, it should be pretty obvious because they named the dog, like, Day or something. And they put, like, Undertale music in the background. Like, I just thought that was funny. I had to hear it. But, but again, that's another thing that people were really hoping that they were going to see something of, and nothing. Like, no sign of that whatsoever. So, I mean, there's been a fair amount of things that people were really hoping that, to hear more information on, and the fact that it didn't show up at E3, even if it's just a little trailer or something, it's pissed a lot of people off. So it's like, honestly, that's another thing. I think just with E3 as a whole, a lot of people are pissed because there's a lot of good games that are coming out that people are hyped for, and they were nowhere to be found.
You know what? Honestly, I know I'm just speculating here. I think that for the most part, a lot of these developers and conferences wanted to hold back some of the big games that they might be working on right now because they knew Smash was coming, and nothing was going to top Smash. Absolutely nothing.
That honestly makes a lot of sense when you put it that way.
Like, because when they bring these games to these conferences, they want them to get hyped. They want people to be hyped for them. But if there's a game coming that they know everyone wants and that everyone's going to pay more attention to, maybe it's best to save your big games for next year.
Right.
After
It's
Smash,
like- it's like-
after Smash comes out.
yeah. Plus, on top of that, it's like even Nintendo, like someone from Nintendo on the E3 floor said themselves, "Is like, all right, listen, we'll talk about Metroid Prime 4 when we're ready to talk about Metroid Prime 4." So it could also very well be is like that. Yeah, they've been making some progress in Metroid Prime 4, but they're not at that point to reveal anything just yet. On top of the big announcements like, say, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Mm-hmm.
Also go. It's also kind of a shame too. Like Danny, going back to like what you were talking about, like how it's like they didn't really bring out like some kind of like announcement or something in regards to the Spyro Reignited trilogy. It's like technically, I mean, they did show off like more like a legit demo that people on the E3 floor could play, in person, so you could actually experience like the new Reignited trilogy yourself or whatnot. But honestly, it's like considering that it's like with the Reignited trilogy of Spyro, what else could they show off with that? I mean, we essentially already got the gist of what it's going to be about. The 3 classic Spyro games being remastered by another developer, and that's pretty much it. At this point, yeah, we can only see is like, okay, we could just experience these various remastered levels and worlds ourselves through the demo, and that's it.
I know, but that's what people were. I'm just saying, that's just what people were hoping they were going to see.
Oh yeah. That's understandable, but it's like, unfortunately, seeing as how they kind of already covered the basis of the Spyro Reignited trilogy, it's like, as much as I would want to see something somewhat new or whatnot with the Reignited trilogy, I don't think there would be much to show off other than just more gameplay.
Oh well, in any which case, I think
So
that
I guess
pretty much does it.
Yeah. So I guess like with the exception of Smash, because we know Smash won E3, but with the exception, like, what do you guys what do you think of E3 as a whole, outside like excluding Smash, like taking in all the rest of the conferences? What do you guys think? Do you think this is one of the better E3s we've had, or
I think it was average.
Or average? Yeah,
I think it was average. Like, it wasn't terrible, but like, I mean, wasn't spectacular up until today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's like it had its ups and downs like throughout all the conferences or whatever, but it's like it wasn't a terrible like E3 conference by any means.
Yeah, like we've definitely had worse ones in the past.
Oh God, absolutely. I'm just so glad that even after these past few years and whatnot, Xbox still has been going really strong. Like regardless on whether you are excited for this title that they announced, or if you want to just pull off a goddamn riff fest on how boring this other title is, I'm glad at the very least Xbox is still just going on with nothing but games, and more games. The one thing everybody asks for every E3, and not go over like the dumb entertainment aspects of their own console.
Right.
Throughout like half of their freaking presentation.
Oh well. All right. Well, I guess with that said, everyone who stuck around with us this entire time, thank you so much for watching. We'll definitely try to, in terms of discussions, like I wouldn't mind doing them as live streams more in the future, so long as everything works properly. God damn it.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I guess So tune in. I'm not gonna promise tomorrow because we don't know for sure, but tune in at some point. We'll definitely be doing another live stream, and during that live stream, we will be talking exclusively Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. We'll see you all then.
Have a good night, everybody.